feeling overwhelmed, stressed out, like life's just one big, never-ending to-do list? You're not alone. We all face challenges, big and small. But what if I told you there's an ancient philosophy that can help you navigate life's ups and downs with greater peace and purpose? Enter the Stoics. These ancient Greek and Roman philosophers had a pretty rad way of looking at the world. They figured out that happiness isn't about having all the stuff or achieving perfect circumstances. It's about how we respond to what life throws at us. Imagine this. You're stuck in traffic, your phone dies, and your favorite coffee shop is closed. It's easy to let these little annoyances ruin your day. But a Stoic would see these as opportunities to practice virtue. They'd remind themselves that they can't control the traffic, the battery life of their phone, or whether or not the coffee shop is open. So, what can they control? Their own thoughts and actions. That's where the real power lies. In this book, we're going to dive deep into the Stoic philosophy and explore how you can apply it to your everyday life. We'll cover everything from dealing with difficult emotions to setting goals and building strong relationships. Ready to level up your life? Let's get started. Own your world. Ever felt like you were drowning in a sea of problems? Like no matter what you do, something else pops up to mess things up? Well, you're not alone. But the Stoics, those ancient Greek and Roman philosophers who were all about keeping their cool, had a pretty sweet trick to handle this. They said, hey, focus on what you can control and let go of the rest. It's like trying to change the weather. You can't, right? But you can bring an umbrella. Why does this matter? Imagine you're stuck in traffic. You're late for a meeting and you're starting to freak out. You can't control the traffic, but you can control your reaction. You can choose to get angry, or you can choose to use that time to listen to a podcast or catch up on some emails. The Stoics would say that focusing on what you can't control is a waste of energy. It's like trying to push a boulder up a hill. Let's break it down. Circle of concern versus circle of influence. The Stoics talked about these two circles. Your circle of concern is all the stuff you worry about but can't really do anything about. Maybe it's the economy, world politics, or even your neighbor's dog barking. Your circle of influence is the stuff you can control. It's your thoughts, your actions, and your reactions. The Serenity Prayer. You've probably heard this one before. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. This prayer is basically a summary of Stoic philosophy. So, how do we apply this to our lives? Identify your circle of influence. Make a list of things you can control and things you can't. Let go of what you can't control. Practice acceptance and non-attachment. Focus on what you can control. Take action on the things that are within your power. Practice mindfulness. Pay attention to the present moment and avoid dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Remember, it's not about being indifferent, it's about being effective. By focusing on what you can control, you'll feel more empowered and less stressed. So, the next time you find yourself worrying about something you can't change, take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this within my circle of influence? If the answer is no, let it go. As Marcus Aurelius said, everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. So, let's focus on what we can control and create our own truths. Level up your character. All right, so we've talked about focusing on what we can control. Now let's talk about how to use that control to become a better person. That's where virtue comes in. The Stoics were all about virtue. They believed that the good life was a virtuous life. But what does that mean, exactly? Well, it's not about being perfect. It's about striving to be the best version of yourself. What does virtue look like in everyday life? Wisdom. This is about making good decisions based on reason and knowledge. It's about thinking before you act. Courage. This isn't about being fearless. It's about doing the right thing, even when it's scary. Justice. It's about treating others fairly and honestly. Temperance. This is about self-control. It's about knowing when to say no. Let's break it down. Imagine you're at work and your colleague makes a mistake that could cost the company a lot of money. Do you tell your boss and risk damaging your relationship with your colleague? Or do you stay quiet? This is a situation where you need to use your wisdom and courage. How can we cultivate virtue? Practice mindfulness. Pay attention to your thoughts and actions. Reflect on your behavior. Ask yourself if your actions align with your values. Seek feedback. Ask others for their honest opinions. Read and learn. Expose yourself to inspiring stories and ideas. Remember, becoming a virtuous person is a journey, not a destination. It's about making small improvements every day. Marcus Aurelius, a famous Stoic emperor, used to ask himself, "What is it that I want to do as a human being?" This is a great question to ask yourself when you're faced with a difficult decision. So, how can you start cultivating virtue today? Choose one virtue you want to focus on this week. Set a small, achievable goal related to that virtue. Reflect on your progress at the end of the week. By consistently striving to become a more virtuous person, you'll not only improve your own life, but also make the world a better place. As the Stoics would say, live as if you were living your last day. Level up with challenges. So, we've nailed down focusing on what we can control and building a solid character. Now, let's talk about something that can really level up your game. Embracing challenges. Life is full of obstacles, right? It's easy to see them as roadblocks, but the Stoics had a different perspective. They saw challenges as opportunities for growth. Why is this important? Think about it like this. A muscle gets stronger when you put stress on it. The same goes for our minds. When we face challenges, we're actually building mental muscle. It's like those weightlifting workouts that make you sore at first, but eventually you're stronger and fitter. Let's break it down. The obstacle is the way. This is a famous quote from the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius. It means that every obstacle we face is actually an opportunity to learn and grow. Growth mindset. This term, popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck, is all about believing that your abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. How can we embrace challenges? Reframe your mindset. Instead of seeing challenges as setbacks, see them as opportunities. Break down big challenges into smaller steps. This makes them seem less daunting. Learn from your mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. The key is to learn from them and grow. Practice gratitude. Focus on the positive aspects of your life, even when things are tough. Let's say you're starting a new job and you're feeling a bit overwhelmed. Instead of focusing on all the things you don't know, focus on the opportunity to learn and grow. See each challenge as a chance to develop a new skill. Remember, it's okay to feel scared or uncertain. The important thing is to keep moving forward. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." So, how can you start embracing challenges today? Identify a challenge you're currently facing. Reframe your perspective on that challenge. Take a small step towards overcoming it. By actively seeking out challenges and embracing them with a growth mindset, you'll not only become more resilient, but you'll also unlock your full potential. Be here now. Okay, so we've talked about controlling what we can, building character, and embracing challenges. Now, let's dive into a practice that can help us navigate all of that. Mindfulness. Mindfulness is all about being present in the moment. It's about noticing your thoughts and feelings without judgment and accepting them for what they are. It's like being a fly on the wall of your own mind. Why is this important? Well, our minds are like monkeys, jumping from thought to thought. Mindfulness helps us tame those monkeys. When we're mindful, we're less likely to get caught up in our thoughts and emotions, and we can respond to situations in a more calm and rational way. Let's break it down. The Stoics and mindfulness. The Stoics, those ancient Greek and Roman philosophers, were all about living in the present moment. They called it living in accordance with nature. The benefits of mindfulness. Mindfulness has been shown to reduce stress, improve focus, and increase happiness. How can we practice mindfulness? Meditation. This is the classic way to practice mindfulness. There are tons of guided meditations available online. Mindful breathing. Simply focus on your breath. Inhale and exhale slowly and deeply. Mindful eating. Pay attention to the taste, texture, and smell of your food. Mindful walking. Notice the sensations in your feet as you walk. Let's say you're feeling stressed about a big presentation at work. Instead of letting your mind race with negative thoughts, try a mindfulness exercise. Take a few deep breaths and focus on your senses. Notice the feeling of your feet on the ground, the sound of your breath, and any sensations in your body. This will help to calm your mind and bring you back to the present moment. Remember, mindfulness is a skill that takes practice. Don't get discouraged if your mind wanders. Just gently bring it back to the present moment. So, how can you start practicing mindfulness today? Find a quiet place where you won't be interrupted. Set a timer for 5 to 10 minutes. Focus on your breath or a specific object. Be patient with yourself. By practicing mindfulness, you'll develop a greater sense of peace and well-being. And who doesn't want that? Aim high, but start small. All right, so we've been talking about mindfulness, embracing challenges, and building character. Now let's talk about goals. Not just any goals, but realistic goals. You know that feeling when you set a huge, lofty goal and then get overwhelmed and give up? Yeah, we've all been there. The Stoics had a way of dealing with this. They believed in setting achievable goals that aligned with their values. Why is this important? Think of it like building a house. You wouldn't try to build a skyscraper in a day, would you? You start with a solid foundation, one brick at a time. The same goes for our goals. Setting realistic goals gives us a sense of accomplishment and keeps us motivated. Let's break it down. The Stoics and goals. The Stoics were big on progress, not perfection. They understood that small, consistent steps can lead to big changes. SMART goals. This is a popular goal-setting framework that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. How can we set realistic goals? Start small. Break down big goals into smaller, more manageable steps. Be specific. The more specific your goal, the easier it is to track your progress. Make it measurable. How will you know if you've achieved your goal? Set a deadline. This creates a sense of urgency. Let's say your goal is to run a marathon. That's a big goal. To make it more manageable, you could break it down into smaller goals like running a 5K, then a 10K, and so on. Remember, it's okay to adjust your goals as needed. Life is full of surprises, and your goals should evolve along with you. So, how can you start setting realistic goals today? Think about what you want to achieve. Break down your goal into smaller, more manageable steps. Create a plan. Track your progress. By setting realistic goals and taking small, consistent steps, you'll be well on your way to achieving your dreams. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." So, let's get prepared and make our own luck. Master your minutes. All right, so you've got your goals, you're mindful, and you're ready to tackle challenges. But with so much on our plates, how do we actually get everything done? The answer lies in effective time management. The Stoics were big on time management. They understood that time is our most precious resource and that we should use it wisely. They believed that every moment is an opportunity to live a good life. Why is this important? Think about it like this. Time is a river that flows constantly. We can either go with the flow or try to dam it up. If we try to do too much at once, we'll end up feeling overwhelmed and stressed. But if we prioritize our tasks and focus on one thing at a time, we'll be more productive and less stressed. Let's break it down. The Stoics and time. The Stoics believed in living in the present moment and focusing on what's truly important. The Eisenhower Matrix. This is a time management tool that helps you prioritize tasks based on their urgency and importance. How can we prioritize our time? Identify your most important tasks. What are the things that will have the biggest impact on your life? Eliminate distractions. Turn off notifications. Find a quiet place to work and avoid multitasking. Use a time management tool. There are many apps and tools available to help you track your time and stay organized. Learn to say no. It's okay to decline requests if they don't align with your priorities. Let's say you're a college student with a part-time job and a social life. It's easy to feel overwhelmed. To prioritize your time, you might create a schedule and allocate specific time blocks for studying, working, socializing, and relaxing. Remember, time management is a skill that takes practice. Don't be afraid to experiment and find what works best for you. So, how can you start prioritizing your time today? Make a list of everything you need to do. Prioritize the tasks based on their importance and urgency. Create a schedule. Stick to your schedule as much as possible. By effectively managing your time, you'll be able to accomplish more, reduce stress, and enjoy a more fulfilling life. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "It is not that we have so little time, but that we waste so much." So let's make the most of every moment. Lean on your people. All right, let's talk about something that's often overlooked: the power of human connection. We've covered a lot of ground so far: mindfulness, goal setting, time management. But even the most self-sufficient person needs a little help sometimes. That's where building strong relationships comes in. The Stoics, while advocating for self-reliance, also recognized the value of community. They understood that we're social creatures and that our connections with others can provide us with support, comfort, and perspective. Why is this important? Imagine trying to climb a mountain alone. It's tough, right? But with a team of experienced climbers, it becomes much more achievable. The same goes for life. Having a strong support system can help you overcome challenges, celebrate your successes, and stay grounded. Let's break it down. The Stoics and community. The Stoics valued friendships and believed that we should contribute to the well-being of our communities. The benefits of social connection. Research has shown that strong social connections can improve our physical and mental health. How can we seek support? Build strong relationships. Nurture your existing relationships and make an effort to connect with new people. Join a community, whether it's a book club, a sports team, or a volunteer organization. Being part of a community can provide a sense of belonging. Don't be afraid to ask for help. We all need help sometimes. Don't be afraid to reach out to friends, family, or a therapist. Let's say you're feeling overwhelmed at work. Instead of trying to handle everything on your own, you could talk to a mentor or colleague. They might be able to offer advice or simply listen. Remember, seeking support is a sign of strength, not weakness. It shows that you value your relationships and that you're willing to be vulnerable. So, how can you start seeking support today? Make a list of the people you trust. Reach out to one of them and share how you're feeling. Join a group or organization that interests you. By building strong relationships and seeking support when you need it, you'll be better equipped to handle life's challenges and live a more fulfilling life. As the philosopher Aristotle said, man is by nature a social animal. So let's embrace our social nature and connect with others. Be here now. All right, let's talk about being present. We've covered a lot of ground, from setting goals to building relationships. But there's one skill that ties it all together: living in the moment. The Stoics were big on this. They believed that happiness wasn't found in the past or the future, but in the now. It's easy to get caught up in worrying about tomorrow or dwelling on yesterday, but the truth is, we only have control over this very moment. Why is this important? When we're constantly thinking about the past or the future, we're missing out on the present. And the present is where life is actually happening. It's where we experience joy, sadness, and everything in between. Let's break it down. The Stoics and the present moment. The Stoics practiced a concept called memento mori, or remember that you will die. This helped them focus on what truly mattered in life. Mindfulness. Mindfulness is all about being present in the moment. It's a practice that has been shown to reduce stress, improve focus, and increase overall well-being. How can we live in the present moment? Practice mindfulness. This could involve meditation, deep breathing, or simply paying attention to your senses. Limit distractions. Turn off your phone, close unnecessary tabs, and find a quiet place to focus. Focus on one thing at a time. Multitasking can make it difficult to be present. Enjoy the little things. Savor the taste of your food. Appreciate the beauty of nature, and take pleasure in simple activities. Let's say you're having a conversation with a friend. Instead of thinking about what you need to do next, try to fully engage in the conversation. Listen attentively, ask questions, and connect with your friend on a deeper level. Remember, living in the present moment is a skill that takes practice. Don't be too hard on yourself if your mind wanders. Just gently bring it back to the present. So, how can you start living in the present moment today? Find a quiet place to sit and focus on your breath. Go for a walk and pay attention to your surroundings. Practice gratitude. Focus on the things you're grateful for in this moment. By living in the present moment, you'll experience more joy, reduce stress, and deepen your connections with others. As the Buddha said, "The past is gone, the future is yet to come, but the present is always here." So let's make the most of it. So, we've journeyed together through the Stoic philosophy. We've talked about everything from mindfulness and gratitude to setting goals and building relationships. And hopefully, you've come to realize that the Stoics weren't just a bunch of ancient Greeks and Romans with long beards. Their ideas are as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. Remember, the goal of Stoicism isn't to be a robot or to ignore your emotions. It's about developing a strong, resilient mind that can weather any storm. It's about living a life of purpose and meaning. Think of the Stoics as your personal life coaches. They're here to help you navigate the complexities of modern life with wisdom and grace. As you move forward, remember these key Stoic principles. Virtue is the only good. It's not about what you have, but who you are. Focus on what you can control. Don't waste your energy worrying about things you can't change. Practice gratitude. Focus on the good things in your life. Live in the present moment. Don't dwell on the past or worry about the future. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. There's a whole community of people who are practicing Stoicism and striving to live a better life. So, what are you waiting for? Start putting these principles into practice today. And remember, every day is a new opportunity to grow and become a better version of yourself. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Let's go out there and live our best lives.